Thailand has just become this absolute world-class hub for regenerative medicine. Like thousands of people are flying there right now for stem cell therapy.
Right, they're walking into these gorgeous, pristine hospitals, government-licensed marble floors, the works.
Yeah, state-of-the-art equipment everywhere. But here is the wild part. A lot of those patients, they don't actually realize that the specific highly advanced injection they're getting, like the actual stem cells, might not be approved by the Thai FDA as a standard commercial drug.
Which I know it sounds super alarming when you first hear it.
Oh, totally. Like
Yeah.
a massive red flag.
Exactly, but it's actually, it's the hallmark of a deeply sophisticated regulatory system. It's a good thing.
And that paradox right there is exactly what we need to unpack today, because our mission for this deep dive is to give you, the listener, just absolute confidence in navigating the Thai healthcare system.
Yeah, you really have to understand the rules of the road if you want to make, empowered and safe decisions about your health journey.
Right.
Welcome to STEMCIERGE, your global concierge for advanced regenerative medicine. Here, we explore the science and breakthroughs redefining longevity and human performance, giving you clarity, confidence, and trusted insights as you navigate stem cell therapy around the world. Let's begin our deep dive.
So let's think about this like dining at a super high-end, highly regulated restaurant.
Oh, I like this analogy.
Thanks, yeah. So you wouldn't walk up to the maitre d' and just ask, like, hey, does this building have a business license?
Right, because obviously it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know the roof isn't going to cave in on you while you eat. But you actually want to know about the chef's specific training.
Exactly.
You want to know the exact source of the ingredients. And you want absolute certainty that the specific dish you just ordered is prepared safely.
Right, because a building permit, it simply doesn't guarantee a Michelin star meal.
No.
And it definitely doesn't tell you what's happening on the cutting board behind closed doors. For international patients looking at Thailand, I mean, the challenge isn't a lack of rules. It is actually the complete opposite. Thailand has this phenomenal multi-layered framework.
There's too many rules if you don't know how to read them.
Right. The confusion comes from not knowing which rules apply to which part of your treatment. So to evaluate that restaurant, you first have to know who is doing the inspecting.
Because, let's be real, the phrase Thai FDA approved, it is plastered all over the internet.
Oh, everywhere. Glossy brochures, clinic websites.
Yeah, it gets thrown around constantly, kind of like a blanket guarantee. But looking at our sources from STEMCIERGE, regulation in Thailand is actually built on 3 completely separate pillars.
Yeah, you really have to look at the facility, the physician, and the product as distinct entities. So first up, you have the Ministry of Public Health, specifically the Department of Health Service Support. And their job is just to license the healthcare facility itself.
So they're inspecting the physical building.
Exactly. They ensure the treatment areas are sterile, the infection prevention protocols are, rigid. They make sure the cell storage freezers actually have backup power.
Which is super important.
Very important. And they check that emergency transfer arrangements are in place just in case something goes wrong.
Wait, okay, so let's unpack this for a second. Because isn't that incredibly confusing for a patient? Like if I walk into a beautiful, fully licensed hospital, I am 100% going to assume that everything happening inside that building is Thai FDA approved.
Right. It's a natural assumption.
It feels like a massive blind spot for medical tourists. People who just don't know the difference between a facility license and a drug license.
It is a massive blind spot if you don't know what to look for, which is exactly why we're breaking this down today. The Ministry of Public Health, they only guarantee that the facility is safe to operate as a clinic.
They don't evaluate the syringe.
Exactly. They do not evaluate the cutting-edge medicine happening inside the syringe. And that brings us to the second pillar, which is the Medical Council of Thailand.
Okay, so what do?
They regulate the human element, the physician. So they manage the medical licenses, they enforce professional conduct, and they set the ethical standards.
So if a doctor is, let's say they're performing a stem cell transplantation for leukemia or some hematological disease.
Right. Then the Medical Council ensures that that specific doctor actually has the recognized specialty competence to do that procedure.
Okay, which leaves the actual stem cells themselves.
Correct. And that is the third pillar, the Thai FDA. They regulate the biological product itself. So they authorize the clinical research studies, and they issue the manufacturing and import licenses for these specific therapies.
Okay, let's stop and really cement this for the listener, because this is the exact distinction that trips people up.
Yeah, it's crucial.
So A hospital can have this pristine lobby, flawless emergency protocols, totally licensed by the Ministry of Public Health. But that does not automatically mean every single cutting-edge stem cell procedure happening inside that building is Thai FDA approved as a standard drug.
That is exactly right. Legality in Thailand, it's treatment-specific. It is not clinic-wide.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Thailand does not just issue a blank check of approval to a clinic just because their floors are clean. A facility license just means, they can legally open their doors.
Right.
It does not prove that a particular cultured cell product is registered or that the proposed treatment is backed by clinical evidence for your specific condition.
Honestly, framing it that way, it actually makes me trust the system so much more.
Right. It's incredibly rigorous.
Yeah, instead of just rubber stamping a hospital, they are actively forcing every single innovative treatment to prove its own merit. But that actually raises a massive question.
What's that?
Well, not all stem cells are the same, right? Like a simple blood draw where they just spin out your platelets in a centrifuge.
Yeah.
That is very different from a vial of cells that has been growing in a lab for a month.
Oh, completely different. And Thailand recognizes that biological reality perfectly. So qualifying cell, gene, and tissue-engineered products, they are categorized as ATMPs.
Which stands for?
Advanced Therapy and Medicinal Products. And the Thai FDA, they divide these into 4 broad categories.
Okay.
You've got cell therapy medicinal products, gene therapy medicinal products, tissue-engineered products, and then combined ATMPs.
Combined meaning what?
That's when you combine cells or tissues with a physical medical device.
Got it. Okay, let's go back to our food analogy for a second, just to make this super clear. Taking minimally manipulated cells, so like extracting bone marrow and re-injecting it into your knee on the exact same day, is kind of like picking an apple off a tree and handing it to someone.
That's a great way to look at it.
They're really just moving it from one place to another. But taking those cells into a lab and culture expanding them, like multiplying them over weeks and weeks, is like taking that apple, pressing it, adding yeast, and fermenting it into hard cider.
Right.
You have fundamentally altered the original product.
And just like fermenting cider introduces, a whole host of new variables like wild bacteria or temperature fluctuations, culturing cells introduces profound biological risks.
Because they're alive.
Exactly. When you culture expand mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs as you'll often hear them called, you are physically changing their biological function.
Wow.
Because these cells, they're replicating outside the human body for weeks. So there is a risk of genetic mutations, cellular aging, or just straight up contamination.
So you are changing the rules of the game, meaning the regulatory rules must change to match.
Precisely. They present entirely different safety questions than a simple same-day tissue graft.
And, MSCs are incredibly popular right now. People are flying all over the world for joint pain, autoimmune diseases, longevity treatments.
Oh, yeah, it's a massive industry.
But looking at the sources from STEMCIERGE, there is a highly specific, very critical detail here regarding these cultured MSCs in Thailand.
Yes.
As of a December 2024 statement by the Department of Medical Sciences, no MSC product was officially registered with the Thai FDA as a commercial drug.
That's right.
So wait, if they aren't approved commercial drugs, aren't they illegal? Like, how are patients actually getting these treatments legally in Thailand?
And this is where understanding the pathways is so incredibly empowering for you as a patient. While they were not registered as standard commercial drugs, the department noted that MSCs are legally utilized for individual patients under a specific provision for authorized clinical research.
Okay, meaning it's not some shady back alley loophole.
Not at all. It is a highly structured, intensely monitored scientific pathway. To provide these therapies legally, the intervention has to happen under close medical supervision, with a written scientific protocol, and most importantly, with independent ethics committee approval.
Right.
The Thai FDA actually has a dedicated ATMP portal that explicitly separates information. They organize it into licensed manufacturing, authorized clinical studies, and registered products.
So hearing the word experimental doesn't mean unregulated.
Exactly.
It just means you're participating in a heavily structured study.
Right. An investigational ATMP requires regulatory authorization before a single cell is ever manufactured or injected. A legitimate clinical study in Thailand, it'll have a named sponsor, a principal investigator, rigorous safety monitoring procedures, and Thai FDA authorization.
But okay, since a lot of these cutting-edge therapies fall under this clinical research umbrella, that puts a ton of pressure on the actual lab, right?
Oh, absolute pressure.
If the Thai FDA is allowing this under research protocols, How do they guarantee that the actual product being, fermented in that lab, to use our cider analogy, is actually safe?
That comes down to manufacturing standards, which honestly is an area where Thailand is currently outperforming a lot of its global competitors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Remember, cell products are living biological materials. Their characteristics can change wildly during collection, culturing, freezing, transport, and thawing.
Right.
So a clinic might boast about giving you like 100 million stem cells, but a high cell count is completely meaningless and potentially really dangerous if the manufacturing was sloppy.
Okay, so we see these acronyms in the sources like GMP and GMDP.
Yeah.
GMP is good manufacturing practice, and GMDP is good manufacturing and distribution practice.
Right.
For anyone who isn't deeply embedded in the biotech world, what does a non-GMP lab look like versus a GMP lab?
Okay, so a non-GMP lab, it might literally just be a clean room in the back of a clinic with a biosafety cabinet.
Yikes.
Yeah. The temperature might fluctuate. The air quality isn't continuously monitored for microscopic particles.
Okay, and a GMP lab?
A GMP lab is a fortress of sterility. I mean, we are talking about highly controlled clean rooms with specialized airlocks, continuous environmental monitoring, equipment that has to be independently validated, and super strict temperature-controlled storage and transport.
And Thailand has been aggressively building out this world-class infrastructure. I mean, looking at the 2026 milestones in our sources, the Thai FDA is actively expanding its ATMP ecosystem.
Yeah.
And they are formally cooperating with Japan's Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices Agency, the PMDA.
And that PMDA cooperation, I cannot stress this enough, is a massive signal of quality.
Really? Why is Japan the benchmark?
Japan has historically had some of the most rigorous and advanced regenerative medicine frameworks in the entire world.
Oh, wow.
So by aligning with them, Thailand is advancing its international regulatory standards to the absolute highest tier. And furthermore, in February of 2026, Thailand awarded its very first PICS GMDP certification for investigational cell therapy manufacturing to the ATMP Center of Excellence at King Chulalongkorn Memorial Hospital.
Okay, let's translate PICS for a second, because that sounds like a bowl of alphabet soup.
It really does.
In simple terms, PICS is basically the international gold standard for pharmaceutical manufacturing, right?
Exactly.
It means the lab making your stem cells is held to the exact same rigorous hygiene, safety, and documentation standards as, like, a massive facility making a global mass market vaccine.
That's right. And that is a huge milestone for Thailand's research infrastructure.
It is. But hold on, let me play devil's advocate here for a minute.
Go for it.
So a GMP certificate means the factory is perfectly clean. It means the cells are sterile, the production is perfectly documented. But a sterile cell doesn't automatically cure my bad knee, right?
And that right there is the single most important distinction a patient can make.
Okay.
GMP certification relates purely to manufacturing quality. It guarantees the product won't give you a bacterial infection, but it does absolutely nothing to prove clinical effectiveness.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't prove that the treatment is better than standard medical care for your specific condition. You can have a flawlessly manufactured, perfectly sterile product that simply hasn't been proven to work for what actually ails you.
Right, so manufacturing quality and clinical evidence are two entirely different hurdles.
Completely different.
Just a quick break. This episode is brought to you by STEMCIERGE. If you're exploring stem cell therapy or evaluating clinics around the world, visit STEMCIERGE.com and take the free quiz to receive your personalized assessment. You'll get expert feedback on your eligibility, treatment options, and potential destinations, empowering you to make informed, confident decisions in the world of regenerative medicine. Visit STEMCIERGE.com today. Now, back to the episode.
Okay, so with this incredibly robust, world-class infrastructure in place in Thailand, let's put you, the listener, in the room. Imagine you are sitting in a consultation room in this gorgeous clinic in Bangkok.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
The doctor hands you a glossy brochure promising the world. What is the very first question you should ask to verify the treatment you're actually being offered?
The first step in your due diligence right then and there is verifying the exact indication. You need to establish immediately, is this treatment recognized standard care or is it authorized research?
Because our sources note that recognized standard medical cell services in Thailand primarily cover very specific things, right?
Yes.
Like hematological diseases, bone marrow transplants for leukemia, or corneal and ocular surface therapies.
Exactly. So if you are sitting in that chair asking for cultured MSCs for osteoarthritis or autoimmune issues or just general anti-aging,
Which a lot of people are.
right, it is highly likely falling under clinical research. So if the doctor confirms it is research, you must ask them directly, what is the ethics committee reference number?
Oh, that's good.
Has the Thai FDA authorized the specific study?
And if they hem and haw or, they try to say, oh, our hospital is fully licensed, don't worry about it.
That is your cue to walk away. Just leave. A credible provider operating in Thailand's elite ecosystem will answer those questions immediately without deflecting.
Okay, so what is step 2?
The second step is verifying the physician. You cannot just accept that they're wearing a white coat and have a framed medical license on the wall.
Right, because a general medical license does not mean they have specialist competence. I mean, you wouldn't want a dermatologist doing an intricate interventional orthopedic injection into your spine.
I certainly wouldn't, which is why the Medical Council of Thailand maintains a public portal online.
Oh, handy.
Very. You can take the physician's medical license number, look them up, and confirm that their recognized specialty actually matches the complex procedure they are proposing to perform on you.
Okay, so you've verified it's an authorized research pathway. You've used the portal to verify the doctor is an actual specialist.
Yeah.
But what about the cells themselves? How do you know what is actually inside the vial?
This is step 3. You request the certificate of analysis. And this is non-negotiable. This is a batch-specific document that proves the identity, the viability, the cell count, and the sterility of the exact cells you will be receiving.
So not just a general marketing brochure about how great their lab is.
Definitely not. You need the paperwork for your specific batch.
What exactly are we looking for on that certificate? Because I think most people assume sterility just means like they wash their hands.
Right. Well, you are looking for the proportion of cells that are actually alive when they reach you. And you are looking for specific contamination tests. For example, the certificate absolutely must show testing for endotoxins and mycoplasma.
Okay, let's highlight mycoplasma for a second, because understanding why that is dangerous kind of changes how you view this entire process.
Oh, it really does.
Mycoplasma is this tiny, tiny type of bacteria that actually lacks a cell wall. So if it gets into a cell culture, it doesn't make the liquid look cloudy.
Yeah.
A lab worker just looking at a vial with the naked eye won't even see it.
No, it's totally invisible to them.
Right. But if that contaminated vial is injected into your joint or into your bloodstream, it can trigger a severe systemic immune response.
And that biological reality right there proves why the certificate of analysis is so crucial. A PICS GMDP certified lab will run highly specialized assays to detect invisible contaminants like mycoplasma.
Whereas a backroom clinic might just look at the vial, shrug, and inject it.
Unfortunately, yes.
Now, I know this checklist sounds daunting. I think sometimes patients feel like asking for ethics committee numbers and certificates of analysis makes them seem difficult, or like they're demanding or insulting the doctor.
People definitely worry about that.
But I want to completely reframe this for you. You aren't being a nuisance. You are hunting for green flags.
I love that. Green flags.
Yeah. A highly reputable clinic in Thailand wants you to ask these questions. They have invested millions of dollars into their GMP clean rooms and their rigorous clinical protocols. They will proudly and transparently hand over that certificate of analysis.
Because transparency is the ultimate sign of a trustworthy provider.
Right.
And honestly, the red flags are just as glaring. If a provider claims blanket Thai FDA approval for their whole clinic,
Red flag.
if they refuse to identify the exact cell product, or if they treat a facility license as proof of drug approval,
Red flag.
or if they pressure you to pay a deposit before even reviewing your medical records, you need to walk out the door.
They also need a written emergency plan. If you ask, like, which specific hospital will I be transferred to if I have a severe allergic reaction? And they don't have an immediate answer.
That's a massive problem.
Because medical travel doesn't end when the procedure is over.
No, continuity of care is vital. You need to know before you ever fly to Thailand if you will receive a comprehensive discharge summary, detailed procedure records, the batch information for your cells, and a follow-up schedule that extends for months after you board your flight home.
Now, hearing all of this, I know exactly what you might be thinking.
Yeah.
Gathering regulatory numbers, translating acronyms, verifying medical council specialties, deciphering a certificate of analysis.
It sounds like a full-time job.
It does. Synthesizing this level of data across international borders is a massive burden to place on someone who is really just trying to heal their knee or improve their health.
It is an incredibly complex bureaucracy to navigate all alone. And realistically, I mean, a patient shouldn't have to become an expert in Thai medical law just to get safe treatment. You need a structured framework to map out this terrain.
Which is exactly why the sources for today's deep dive were provided by STEMCIERGE. They have essentially built a map for this exact landscape.
They really have.
Gathering this data on your own is completely overwhelming, but using their tool clarifies the entire process. They offer a free 3-minute assessment that basically acts as a practical filter for all of this complexity.
And by taking it, you aren't just sending your medical history into the void.
No.
The assessment matches your specific condition and goals with the correct legal treatment pathways in Thailand.
Which is huge.
Yeah, it helps you identify exactly which questions you should be asking based on your specific profile before you ever contact a clinic. It translates your medical needs into the regulatory language of the destination country.
It essentially bridges the gap between you and the top-tier Thai clinics that are operating at the absolute pinnacle of this ecosystem. You don't have to be a regulatory expert. You just need the right tool to help you identify the green flags.
Exactly. If we synthesize the vast amount of information we've discussed today, the core message is empowerment through specificity.
Say more about that.
Well, you cannot just verify the brand of the clinic or the cleanliness of the lobby. You have to verify the exact treatment, the specific product, and the authorized pathway.
Right.
Thailand has built an incredibly robust, world-class framework for regenerative medicine. The infrastructure is absolutely there. The PICS GMDP certified labs are there. The rigorous ethics committees are waiting to protect you.
You just have to know how to interact with that system. Like, don't fall for broad, sweeping marketing claims. Verify the exact product, verify the exact physician, and verify the authorized pathway.
And as we wrap up today, I really want to leave you with a paradigm-shifting idea to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
We usually think of medicine as a very passive experience, right?
You go to a hospital, you find the best doctor, and you just wait for them to fix you.
Right. But what if the future of cutting-edge medicine isn't about being passive at all? When you travel to a destination like Thailand and participate in heavily regulated, authorized clinical research for advanced therapies, you aren't just a patient lying on a table anymore.
Oh, wow.
You become an active co-investigator in your own health. By participating in these structured studies, you are actively contributing data to the frontier of human biology.
That is a profoundly powerful way to look at it. How does stepping into the role of an active participant, like someone who demands the certificate of analysis, someone who actually understands why mycoplasma testing matters, someone who engages with the ethics committee protocols, how does that change the way you view your own healing process?
It changes everything.
Because at the end of the day, you aren't just hoping the restaurant is good. You've met the chef, you've inspected the ingredients, and you're ready to take your seat at the table with absolute confidence in the science.
Understanding the system is the absolute most valuable tool you can pack in your suitcase.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking this deep dive with us today. Take that STEMCIERGE assessment, ask the hard questions, and reclaim your health with absolute clarity.
Thank you for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, then share it with someone who may benefit from it. For global insights and personalized guidance on stem cell therapy, visit STEMCIERGE.com to receive your tailored assessment and explore your treatment options with clarity and confidence. And as always, remember, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please consult your doctor before making decisions about your health. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered with STEMCIERGE.com.